Hey guys, welcome back. So we're back in the shop again because we got some things to do. I've been waiting on a bunch of stuff to show up, like everything in that box there, which is a whole lot of electrical components. Things like ECU pins, wires, fuses, relays, you name it, it's in there because we got a whole lot of electrical things to do. I just got confirmation yesterday that our first set of cylinder heads have finally shipped out. Which, guys, that means that we're gonna have freaking cylinder heads in a week. I'm getting so freaking pumped. Like, holy crap, I'm so excited. It's been so long, but they're officially on their way. Which means we get to assemble a motor this week, which means we get to maybe drop it in the car very soon, which means we're that much closer to have a freaking running and driving race car. Guys, I'm so freaking jazzed. Oh, and on top of that, I do have some shirts and some hats coming. If you guys want them, let me know. Drop it down in the comments down below. Other than that, we're just gonna go ahead and get into today's video. I got lots of things to show you. I got lots of things to do. So let's just stop wasting your time and get into it. Let's go. All right, guys, we got all kinds of stuff in this thing. Stop by O'Reilly's. Whole bunch of wire connectors, hammer, got a good old trusty Mountain Dew. Need that. Got something from Grimspeed. Nice old hammer, we're gonna need that soon. Got some relays. I'm excited to show you this. We got a fuel system to build too, and this is one of the components I've been waiting on, which is sick. And then brought my fuel building clamps that go into a vise from Vibrant. These are Vibrant products. We have here our secondary injector harness, which we're gonna need for our secondary injectors. So we need to wire all this up. Got a crimping tool I stole from my old man. And then I got another little package here from Vibrant, which are a bunch of fittings and lines and stuff for all of our wastegate, blow-off valve routing, some AN fittings for our massive fuel filter. This is a -16 10 micron microglass extreme flow fuel filter. So if that gives you any idea as to how much fuel and what kind of fuel. Oh my God! So, I had to get some -16 to -10 because we're only doing a -10 feed. Probably overkill on that fuel filter, but hey, whatever. And then these fittings, these fittings I'm gonna give a shot, which are super sick, guys. They are a -4 AN male to 1/8 inch NPT, but they're a swivel adapter. So this is the 1/8 inch NPT side, and basically this is a swivel fitting. So it can go on pretty much, it can rotate any which way, which I'm gonna use all these for the manifold or the intake manifold, and on the fuel pressure regulator itself, because I'm going to do all the reference lines in this stainless line, which is super sick. But again, guys, everything's coming together as to everything that we got. So we're just going to go ahead and bust into getting a whole bunch of this stuff tackled and sorted and figured out. So I started filming an unboxing video of our new fuel pump and fuel cell, but it's been so long now that I've kind of forgotten where I was at with that video, and I figure I'd just go ahead and show you guys what I got, what we decided to go with, and show you guys firsthand, because we're gonna have to do a whole bunch of wiring and stuff to actually get it to work, and I'll kind of show you guys or tell you some details as to how exactly it works, how exactly we're gonna pin it into the EMtron and control it and things like that. So guys, as you can see, this says Aeromotive, and this is their 6-gallon fuel cell with their true variable speed, brushless, 10-gallon per minute fuel pump. 10 gallon per minute. Woo! So it has these two -8 breather fittings on here. These are -8, and that's a -8. So this is basically just for the fuel cell to breathe. It's got this nice lid on here that's super sweet. It's even got a handle. You can see it's baffled in there. There is a tube back here for this one that runs down, which has a breather in the baffled section. That's a breather outside the baffled section. So what we need to do today, or what I was waiting on, if this guy will go back in, there he is. What I was waiting on was this -10 ORB fitting, because they actually sent me the wrong ones. It was probably a typo mistake, whatever, no big deal. But I want to start getting a fuel system put together, routing, and I gotta have my fabricator come and weld some tabs on here so that we can go ahead and mount it to this. When he first built it, that's what those were for. So now that we finally have it, we just need to final mount it, and we can start doing all the wiring and fuel line routing and building, and get our battery all situated for a mount and everything. And we'll be one step closer, guys. Again, not a whole lot left to do, but 10 gallon a minute fuel pump. Holy crap. All right, guys, so one of the things that was in this little box here, which has been on back order for quite a while, is our brand new fuel pressure regulator. This is made by Foray Innovations out of Florida, but this is a true, what they call an F2I, which means it has 2 inlet ports, 2I, obviously, that's what it stands for, and then a return. But this is a true -8 on all 3 ports, because our fuel rails are -8, which we're running 2 of them per side. So we'll have one bank, one side, the left side, driver side, come in to one side, and then the passenger side rails will come into the other. Then it will be a -8 return, which is probably plenty sufficient. So, and that's also the way that this fuel cell is set up. It's set up for a -10 feed and a -8 return. So this means that we don't have to step any sizes really, other than the fuel filter from a -10 to a -16, but that won't matter. As far as all the lines coming from the fuel cell to the front of the car and back, it will all be true sizing all the way through. On top of that, this is a ceramic stainless ball and piston within this, so it will stand up a whole lot better to corrosion, which I should probably get into it, but I'll let you know 100% on the fuel we decided to go with when it's time to show that. But this is one beefy ass unit. Most fuel pressure regulators, this little vacuum reference port here is typically like on an Aeromotive typical regulator for like most people that use on a Subaru as far as like adjustable goes. This port here is typically a 1/16 NPT to like an 1/8 inch. And then they have this 1/8 inch, what would be for like a gauge or, you know, a sensor or something port. This one has an 1/8 inch for the gauge or sensor port, but it is also tapped for 1/8 inch and a 1/4 inch barb. So that's twice as big as your Aeromotive one. So what a unit. Seriously, what a unit. I cannot wait to get this on the car and get it all set up. But I was really trying to find one that would be really corrosion resistant and be a true -8 on all 3 ports. So super cool. Thank you for Innovations. I'll link their stuff down in the description below. But just wanted to share this with you because I'm freaking pumped. Freaking pumped! Alright guys, so what we just pulled through here are a gray, black, white, and blue wire. And these are the secondary injector wires. I can't remember the exact order. I have a sheet. So, Tier 1 built this secondary injector harness for me and have this labeled as to which injector this is. So all we need to do is basically, number 1, feed it through the firewall, which we just did. And then 2, put some, what they call AMP Super Seal 1.0 pins on here, which are pretty standard ECU pins. And we have gone ahead and identified which pins on the ECU we're going to use. And it's going to be an A plug here, which is going to be pins 1 through 4, which should be these top left 4, first row, farthest from the left. Those 4 right there are going to be basically injector 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're labeled as injector 9, 10, 11, and 12, which is really nice. What's nice about the KV12, because it has 12 injector inputs instead of just 8, where the KV8 only has 8. 4 of the other injector inputs have been prioritized to something else from Boomslang. So when they built this, they pinned it using basically what would be injector 6, 7, or 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's kind of confusing, right? So injector 1, 2, 3, and 4 is injector 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the car. 5, 6, 7, 8 has been utilized for something else. And then on a completely separate plug, they have injector 9, 10, 11, and 12, which will be our injector 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, these top 4 right here are going to be it. So, I'll refer to the sheet that I got from Tier 1 as to which wire is which. Go ahead and get our wire crimping tools and go ahead and get some pins put on them, and I'll show you guys how to pin one of these plugs. Super easy, very nice. I love these plugs. They're stupid easy to work with. Alright guys, so these are the pins I was talking about. These are what are called, I guess, race spec AMP Super Seal 1.0 female closed barrel pins, which require this special tool here. This tool crimps, has like 4 little things that come out and crimps it on 4 different sides. It is a locking tool, so each click it locks, and the only way you can get it unlocked is by fully depressing it and it releasing. So it ensures that you basically get a full crimp no matter what, but if you're not careful, once it locks and it starts crimping, you're kind of stuck. So if it's not, the wire's not all the way in or something like that, you're probably gonna ruin your pin, which I went ahead and purchased several extra just in case. So what we have here is our 4 wires. Like I mentioned before, we have gray, black, blue, and white. And, well, I guess this would be brown. But what we have here is our sheet from Tier 1, the people who built this harness. And it looks like here they have white as 1, blue 2, gray 3, and brown 4, which in actuality is going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8, because our primary injectors are already pinned in a different plug here. Not sure which one exactly, but this plug here has what would be considered injector 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the KV8 as the pins A1 through 4. So we're going to go ahead and basically assign white to A1, blue to A2, gray to A3, and brown to A4. So when it comes time to configure all this, we will know that A1 is injector 5, 6, 7, and 8, and so on and so forth. So these pins are super awesome, but how do we go about getting the pins in? What's really cool about these Deutsch style connectors is they have these white little things here and this big one on this side. All we're basically going to do is depress that. Now you can see it's pressed, and then they're probably sticking out on this side. Yep. So at this point, the locking mechanism inside to keep wires in is actually released. So basically what we're gonna do is just go ahead and take our, what would be the number white one, what would be number 1 white, and we're going to go ahead and stick it into A1, which I'm not sure I can do this one-handed. Let's see if I can get my phone set up. Okay, so A1 is going to be this far corner one. I'm sorry the camera's far away, but that's the only thing I can do. So we're basically just going to shove it in until it clicks, and that's that. And then when we're done and ready to finalize it, all we'll do is just flip this guy around, push this back, and it locks it in place. So now you can see that the brass gold looking ones are the ones that we just stuck in. So you can see they're pretty much flush, just like the silver ones are down lower on the left there, bottom left. So from there, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna flip this guy around. We're gonna press this. There we have it. So our secondary injectors are pinned now. We can go ahead and plug this guy back in. And the only thing really left is I have gone ahead and ran some wires here, which are going to end up being some wires that we need to pin into the ECU as well, because the injectors are going to run off of a relay, which I have in the back here. Not quite mounted or anything, but this is a 75 amp relay. Something that we need to power the injectors, but one of these wires is going to be a pin on the EMtron called EFI relay out, and the other one is an ignition switch 12 volt. So this is going to be our ignition switch 12 volt yellow, which is pretty typical, and this will be our EFI relay wire. That will all go through a 50 amp breaker, which was the top one, and then it will get power, switch power from the battery. So we gotta also wire this yellow wire here, which is gonna be our pump trigger, to what would be considered on the EMtron D19, which is AV sensor out, or AV out, analog out. It's a 0 to 5 volt reference line, which is what these pumps use to vary their speed. I think the range is somewhere between 1.8 or 1.6 and 3.8 volts. So we'll have to build a table in the EMtron for that, but it should just require regular power and ground. And then we'll just run another wire to the EMtron, pin that into D19, pin these into D9 and D15, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So as you can see on the secondary injector harness here, there's a red wire here for what would be this side, passenger side bank, and then there's another red wire for the driver's side bank. Injectors are basically like solenoids, okay? They have two pins, a power and a ground, essentially. The power they see constantly, but what the ECU does is the ECU sends ground in a pulse type pattern, or what they call hold and stay, or peak and hold, that's what it is, peak and hold, to open and close the injector essentially. So with that relay I was just showing you, I need to wire these two red wires into what I guess in theory is going to be the EFI relay out, which is going to be our switched power, because that's how the EMtron is going to be able to trigger these. So a little bit more work to do, but I figure trying to at least get a head start. Okay guys, after a lot of looking online at wiring diagrams and doing the tedious work of wiring, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one out. I'll catch you guys up as we continue to do more, but I'm kind of just basically trying to get a head start so that when my cylinder heads show up this week, I can focus on that and get the car pretty much, or get a motor in it at least, and we won't have a whole lot of wiring and stuff to do once that happens. So basically it's just hook it up, configure the EMtron, make sure all the sensors and everything are working, and hopefully we can get a first fire up pretty quick. So again, thank you for tuning in. There's a lot more content to come. I know it's been a long time coming, but hey, you've been experiencing it with me, so that's all that matters, and we're super close. I'm extremely excited. Things are coming together. Every video, they keep coming together a little bit more and a little bit more. So it's something that's on my mind all the time now, is this stinking car, this freaking money pit. But hey, we do what we love, right? So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click the little button down below. It really helped me out. Again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Don't forget to smash the like button. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think of the build so far. Are you excited to see it run? Because damn, I am. But with that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.